Hey guys, Worm here. Just wanted to talk about the Citan's Ramparts changes that went live yesterday. And I know it might be a little bit late on this video, but hey, better late than never, right? But the Citan's Ramparts received a pretty substantial nerf that's, for a TLDR, I don't think was warranted. Citan's Ramparts here, the first thing it is, they increase the cooldown of the barricade ability while Citan's Ramparts are equipped by 70%. 70%. Okay, that's massive. I mean, most nerfs that we see to exotics and weapons like that, they do like a 50% nerf, kind of somewhere in there. But they went all out with us. They gave us 70% nerf, which is crazy. Not only that, but Bungie also increased the amount of damage that players deal to a Citan's barricade by 25%. Okay. Um, Now I want to start by saying I was not a big Citan's Rampart user. I didn't use the exotic very much. Back in the day, when it first came out, I got it on. I'd use it a couple times, but I feel like it doesn't necessarily meet my play style, which is a very aggressive and rush heavy play style. So I don't use it very much. So before somebody comes in here and says, "Oh, you use Citan's Rampart a lot," yeah, we can dismiss that right now. Uh, but I do think that this was a bit much. It really was. It was a bit much because 70% makes the barricade cooldown, and God, I don't know. It was like almost a minute or something like that. Like it's kind of ridiculous how long the cooldown is on the barricade at this point. And then to kind of add the cherry on top, they made it so that players have increased damage against the Citan's Rampart or a Citan's barricade. Guys, that's ridiculous. I mean, we saw an uptick in usage, but I don't really think that uptick in usage was because Citan's was so good. I think that was because Bungie forced players into a position where it's better to play safe than sorry. I mean, we can always go back to the whole idea of skill-based matchmaking, because honestly I think at the core of it, skill-based matchmaking is the cause of everything that's going on with the Crucible. Every weapon choice, every armor choice, stuff like that has been caused by skill-based matchmaking, because before skill-based matchmaking we didn't see issues with these. We didn't see issues with Citan's Ramparts. I mean, yeah, you'd run across them every now and then. A Titan would be sniping behind them, but that wasn't the change. It wasn't until um, skill-based matchmaking became a permanent staple of Destiny, and Bungie has continued to double down on it. They've continued to say, no, this is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And it's something that players are adjusting to, but I don't think they're adjusting to the way that Bungie wants them to. And that is not at all the players' faults. Okay, that's not at all the players' fault. That's Bungie's fault. Pardon me, for making the Crucible a amplified tryhard fest. Really, I mean, I still play aggressive. I still play shotgun, Araba. There's a lot of aggressive builds that I like to use, and I don't typically sit too far in the back. Um, but again, that's just me. That's not the majority of the players. The majority of players are putting themselves in positions of power, okay, through things like Citan's barricades. And Bungie's going out and saying, "Oh no, we don't like you putting yourself in a position of power, so to speak. So we're going to take away everything you have." And I think the precedent here is quite simple. Bungie's going to nerf things into the ground every time something becomes popular. It comes up here. Bungie's going to take it, knock it all the way down here. And eventually we're going to have a situation where all of our exotic armors and everything, that we find, um, that's common to find in the Crucible, is nerfed to the point where, okay, now we've got to buff stuff, and it becomes this cycle, which, to be fair, Destiny has always been this cycle of buffs, nerfs, buffs, nerfs. But it's at this point we're getting the nerfs are excessive. Okay, I think that's increasing the cooldown to maybe like 40 or 50% is much more appropriate than 70%. I think that the amount of damage that players deal increased by 25% is actually pretty reasonable. There are many instances where it takes the same number of shots to kill with certain weapons. I'm sorry, not to kill, but to break the barricade with certain weapons. But we don't need 70%. cooldown, 70% cooldown increase. That is, in my opinion, a little bit ridiculous here. Of course, like I said, I want players to play aggressive. I don't want players to sit in the back behind a Citan's Rampart barricade. I don't think that that's fun or entertaining to any Destiny players. But at the same time, these are completely, I'm not going to say they're completely useless, but they have been voided out of most players' playstyles. Okay, every now and then I'm sure you're going to have somebody pop up using them effectively, but it's kind of ridiculous how far they've gone. And like I said, I do think that Bungie is setting a bad precedent by nerfing things this hard. Because, what happens if the Lorelei Splendor comes back into play? Dune Marchers comes to play. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Titans only because, Titans Ramparts are on the Titans. But even things like Ophidian Aspects and stuff like that, like what if they become overly popular? Is Bungie just gonna nerf them? I don't know. Nobody knows. According to this precedent, it's possible. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of my issue on Citan's Ramparts. I think that Bungie should undo a little bit of the nerf. I think that, increasing the barricade cooldown to maybe by 40% would be more accurate. I think that the damage that players deal increasing by 25% is okay. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching and bye for now.